Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Now podcast. I'm your host, Nifty. Joining me today is another one of our friends from the Ethereum chain. She's founded such projects such as NFTitties, not NFT titties, but NFTitties, and she survives. So please join me in welcoming Ashley DCan. Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you? It's nice to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy to have you. It's Monday, so I'm still kind of getting the gears going, but doing
I
okay so
feel
far.
that.
You're in Central as well, right?
Yes, I
Nice.
am.
I say, yeah, Central time. Okay, cool. Yeah, I feel like it's the most sensible time zone. We're not too far in either direction.
Exactly.
Sweet. So I like to start these things off by generally asking about like your background, kind of outside of the space, right? So like, what were you doing, Web 2 or like pre-crypto, pre-Web 3?
Before crypto, I was in like a lot of different things. I went from banking to fraud detection. Then I did real estate for a while, and then I did business analysis. So I kind of hopped all over the place before I finally landed full time in Web3.
Nice. What is fraud detection? That sounds kind of fun. What do you got going on there?
It was probably the most fun job I've ever had. So basically, I was in a mobile fraud detection group at Bank of America. So basically, what I did was, let's say you're wanting to send a mobile transfer to your sister or your mom or whoever. Basically, my job is within a 5-minute window is to make sure that's a legitimate transfer. If it's not, I flag it. If it is, I have 5 minutes to approve it. So it's like a very,
Oh
uh,
shit.
yeah, it's a high risk job. So once you find a flag, you have to call and kind of do like private investigator type of stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Nice. I fortunately have never had any kind of like fraudulent activity happen on my accounts. I don't have a lot of money. Probably that's why nobody's really trying to fuck with me. But that's awesome. I'm glad that we've got, folks who are doing that and they have like a very short time window to accomplish what they need to accomplish. So that's good. It sounds like the turnaround time is pretty quick in case something does pop up.
Oh yeah. It's it's
Nice.
it's awesome. And plus, I got to work with like police officers and stuff like that. And like, I don't know. I felt kind of like a narc, but it was in a cool way. I was protecting people. So
Yeah, no, I love that. So that's cool. So you've had some fun jobs, and then you said banking and then real estate, kind of jumping around a bit. I find that to be kind of common, right? It's like with people in this space, they were kind of trying to find where they fit in, and I feel like Web 3 speaks to a lot of different people. Like I was the same way. I went to culinary school, and then I worked in technology recruiting, and then I was like a fucking Excel jockey for a little bit. Like I was doing reporting, and yeah, then now I work in marketing. So yeah, it's all strange, but it's like I just feel like there's this commonality with folks in the space where like they were kind of looking, and then Web 3 kind of comes to them. So it's great. I'm glad you found it as well. So then I guess when you transitioned into Web 3, were you around for like the 2017, 2018, like the crypto boom, the shitcoin boom? Or did you skip all that and then jump straight into NFTs? Like, where were you when you came into the space?
So technically, I bought Dogecoin. That was my first crypto in 2017.
Oh,
So that was like the only thing that I did because my friend had mentioned it. That was one of my favorite memes at the time, and so I bought a bunch of that, and then I just forgot about it. It was just a few $100s, and uh, fast forward to 2021, all of a sudden I get a message, and they're like, "Hey, don't you own Dogecoin? It's like mooning right now." And then I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm actually making money.
are you comfortable saying how much you came up from the couple $100?
um, I'd say like about like 10,000. So yeah, it
Let's
wasn't like
go.
crazy, but it was enough.
Shit,
Yeah.
that's plenty.
Yeah, so it was enough to kind of put my toes in the water and on a few other things. I went, fully into crypto. I got several different coins. I started making money there. I went into stocks,
Oh, yep.
and yeah, like GME, AMC, all that. So
That's so funny.
that's
I was talking to Ape Father, and I think his pod will probably come out right before yours. But he did the same thing. I mean, he was like not really doing much on the trading side, but then like got into GME and AMC, and then from there transitioned into like more crypto stuff. So it's kind of funny. I feel like a lot of us had that shared experience. I definitely was involved in the AMC and GME, and then I think BlackBerry
Yes.
was also part of that as well, right? Just mooning and fucking yeah. I made like $2,000 off of like a $27 like options call. Like it
Oh,
was
it's
great.
so nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. It's a lot of fun. Nice. Okay. And then so that allowed you to kind of mess around with. Were you basically with that kind of capital? Were you messing around with coins mostly, or did you jump into NFT straight away?
So I was mostly into coins. I was doing really well there and didn't really want to stray. But then, of course, Doge related NFTs came along and I got
Yeah.
into that. And I ended up doing really well, like in the community. Like I got gifted some NFTs. I ended up, buying them myself. And then eventually I created my own collection, the NFTitties or CryptoTitties. And that's when I started like getting to be a little more successful in this space. Like people really enjoyed what I made, and then I ended up buying a lot more NFTs and feeding my NFT addiction.
I love it. Yeah, it is such an addiction. I feel like, especially early on, like I was not sleeping well. I feel like it's better now. Maybe it's because there's like a bit of a bear market, but
Yeah.
yeah, when I first started, it was like I was just like looking to snipe shit. It was just dumb too. It's not like I was really making a ton of money, but like I don't know, I was just full on addicted. So like, yeah,
Same.
yeah, I'm with you. And I started in Ethereum as well. I remember seeing you around the Ethereum space. So it's cool to be able to talk to you. I haven't been really focused or honed in on the ETH stuff for a little while now. I've been pretty much full-time Solana since like December. But again, I
Yeah.
recognize your name. So when they were like, hey, do you want to do a pod with Ashley DCan? I was like, sure. Yeah, why not? So this is perfect. And so you were talking about founding CryptoTitties or NFTitties, I should say. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I know like the transition from being a trader to being a founder can not always be so smooth, and some people are really good at it, some people are not. So how was your experience?
Oh, well, it's kind of mixed, experience. So at first it was really cool. Like I actually did a lot of custom NFTs. So people would send me requests,
Oh,
I would
cool.
make it for them. And that's why, my holders were so happy because they really just enjoyed the fun and the art. So that a lot of my holders are just, long time, lifetime holders because they just, I custom made that NFT for them.
Mhm. It's a
So
one of one of sort. I find that that's so true. My PFP is a hothead. It's a one of one collection as well.
mhm,
They're always kind of doing something, but they're not like mooning at all, which is fine, right? It's like a
yeah.
very I hold on to it because it's like mine. It's like very much like the one of one aspect, and it being kind of my own thing. So I get why you have like very long term holders.
Oh yeah, yeah. And being a founder of a collection like that, you get a lot of flack, sometimes just because it's not, like it's hard to know what to do in that situation, So a
Sure.
lot of, I try to just communicate with the community. I donated to, to charity. I was able to form a relationship with the American Cancer Society. So it ended up being really nice. Like, in total, I was able to donate, I'd say like $30,000 from that particular project. So I
Quite a
just,
bit of money.
yeah, it was cool. I
That's
was I
incredible.
was really happy. A lot of my money that I made from that project went back to supporting friends and donating. So it was a fun experience.
No, incredible. And I think people will love to hear that like the funds were put to good use, whether they went to charity or to other folks who are growing the ecosystem. That's incredible. That's awesome. Was that your initial vision when you came out with the concept as well? Like, I know it's like kind of memeable as well, right? So like, what was
Mhm.
the inspiration? Was it for specifically for like breast cancer, or what were your thoughts behind that?
It was a mixture of a lot of things. So, that was back when CryptoPunks were like super popular. I mean, they are still obviously, but I wanted to create kind of a spoof of that. So originally,
I see.
just started with a meme, and I never had any intention of selling it. Somebody actually put a bid on it and begged me to accept it. So I was like, okay, yeah, I mean,
Incredible.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. Why not,
If
right?
you want to buy my pixelated titties, why not?
Incredible.
Yeah.
And okay,
So
nice, nice, nice. And then so I guess from there you were like, oh, there's something here, and then you came out with I guess the collection essentially.
exactly. Like a lot of people started requesting them, and then somebody from the community actually suggested to donate because originally I wasn't doing that, and I thought that was a great idea
Yeah,
because
it's good.
it all just was stemming from me tweeting about titties all the time. So
I,
that
I
was,
do remember that. That's funny. Yeah. I remember that my youth days. No, that's good. And I love that you were like very receptive to a community member who came up with the idea to donate to charity. I think a lot of people like if they were like if somebody was like, hey, you should take the money that you just made and give it away. And I don't know if everybody would be receptive. So it's cool that you were.
yeah, it just feels nice. Like it may have felt nice to use that money at the time to buy a board. I think that would have
She.
been cool.
Yep.
But I don't know, like I was really able to solidify a really good partnership with the American Cancer Society, and ultimately I was able to teach them about crypto and
Oh,
NFTs.
that's
And
cool.
yeah, they not necessarily because of me, but they did start a crypto foundation, and they were able to meet a $1 million crypto mark. So
Oh,
it was
wow.
cool to see their transition from not really knowing much to knowing enough to connect with so many different people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're saying it's maybe not necessarily because of you, but I feel like you're when people are like doing their DD and they're trying to figure out, hey, how big is this thing? Like, having more folks talk to them about it definitely helps. And since you are somebody who donated quite a substantial sum and was also talking about it, I'm sure it helped. So it's incredible. I mean, I think definitely gotta give yourself some credit for
Yeah,
them, getting it.
sometimes.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, no, incredible. So that was Crypto Titties. You also founded a project. She Survives. Is that right? Can you tell me a little bit about that project as well?
Yeah, so this project was actually more of a collaboration with the American Cancer Society.
Oh, cool.
They had, a particular amount that they needed to reach for their yearly goals to help, fund a lot of the things that they were working on. So this project was inspired by a friend of mine who passed away from breast cancer. She
Mm,
was, one of my closest family friends. So I created that project. It is a passion project, and
mm.
specifically charity was the main purpose of it. So I wanted to add different utilities and things like that, but charity was like the top priority to raise funds for the American Cancer Society.
Oh, wow, incredible. And so was that like a is that like a PFP thing, or what was like the art or the actual NFT?
So it is a PFP basically. So the art is like a bunch of women that are bald, and they have like different
Oh, wow.
accessories. And there's not a lot of bald NFTs like of women, So I really wanted to create something unique. Like the women had drawn on eyebrows, they had no eyelashes,
Oh,
just
wow.
to represent,
Mhm.
what women go through when they have breast cancer.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah, that's it's incredible that you did that. And again, so you had crypto titties and it was suggested to you that you donate some of the money and then you did that, but then you also, came up with this other project which is kind of solely based for the charity. I love that. And then the traits are very inclusive to people who are going through cancer and especially women. So that's awesome. That's so cool. I didn't know this. Listeners of the pod will know I don't do a lot of DD just because I like to keep the conversations like super organic.
Mhm.
And so I'm just finding out about this. I'm quite moved. That's incredible. I'm very glad that you've done this. And the space needs more people like you, if I can say. Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Okay. And so did you have any, I think we talked about crypto titties and how it went. Do you have any issues with She Survives when it comes to like minting out or running the project, gathering the charity fund, like anything like that? Because again, I mean, being a project founder is tough. It's not easy. I've been a community manager for different projects, and we're kind of the grunt of like people's anger, right? We take the grunt of it, I should say. But project founders are up there as well. So I'm just curious how the whole process went for you with the second collection.
Well, it was a lot different because with my first collection, nobody was expecting any like specific utility. Back then, you could really sell anything when I first came out with
Yeah,
Crypto City. So I wasn't really prepared for some of the backlash I received. A
on the
lot of
second
people,
collection,
huh?
on the second collection, you're saying?
Yeah, so
Mm,
basically, a lot of people didn't like that I was taking any profit at all,
I see.
and paying team members and things like that.
Mhm.
Like people get really touchy on things like that. They didn't like
Yeah.
that it was a charity project. Well, like common thing was, why wouldn't I just donate directly? So we're still, minting right now. We haven't minted out, but on that project, I'm not in a rush because,
Mhm.
what I decided to do We did pay some team members and things like that, but because the team members had other obligations, anybody that's minting, I'm just donating the rest of the funds to charity directly instead of,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, it didn't quite work out the way that I was hoping, but it still was really great because we ended up raising over $20,000 for charity.
Well,
So,
there you go. Yeah, yeah, no, that's incredible. No, it's one of those things. I mean, I'm surprised you were asked that question. I think like I might even get in trouble for saying this, but like utility is sometimes overrated, especially like charity as a utility is excellent, right? It's an incredible
yeah.
way to like receive something in return as well, right? You're getting the art, you're getting the PFP, like. So I'm
Yeah.
surprised you were getting asked, kind of why wouldn't I just donate directly? Like, you wouldn't get a cool PFP out of it, you wouldn't be able to join a cool community out of it. It's a totally different ball game.
Yeah.
But no, I love that. So like, if folks are looking to have a very inclusive and supportive PFP and also donate to a great cause, they can pick up She Survives. I'll be sure to link it in the YouTube video. I think it's a great
Thank
idea.
you.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So coming back to now, we are Magic Eden. This is a Magic Eden podcast. Obviously, most of your experience is on Ethereum. What do you think about like cross chain and marketplaces who are going to go cross chain eventually? Hint, hint. If that information hasn't already come out yet by the time this pod is released, Magic Eden will probably be going cross chain, and we'll be working with Ethereum. So, what are your thoughts on that? I know as a solely Ethereum trader, sometimes like Sol can be looked down upon. I remember I was kind of like, the fuck is Solana? Like when I was
Yeah.
super into ETH, right? So like curious to hear your thoughts.
I actually got into Sol back in December. I was into my very first Sol NFT was a Catalina whale. So,
We did a pod with them recently as well. With
Oh,
the founder.
yeah.
Yeah, Michael George. He's dope as fuck.
Yes, I agree. And so that was a very welcoming community. So eventually I started getting more into Sol NFTs. So I'm actually, doing some things with the Sol NFTs. I'm still kind of an ETH, like major ETH person, but
Yeah.
like the community members, honestly, one of the main reasons that I got into Sol was because like how fun the Sol community is, like Magic Eden, for instance, y'all react to, the community, y'all are participating, y'all make funny memes and like,
Yeah.
I love some of the people I worked with at OpenSea, and they actually were really sweet to me before and supported, my project, which was really cool. But that they don't get in the community, they don't get their hands dirty, and they may have cross chains, but they have no personal connection. It makes me like, platforms like Magic Eden more than that, even though technically OpenSea is cross chain.
Yeah. No, it's an interesting thing. I think about it often, like where Magic Eden's success is derived from. Obviously, it's a great marketplace, but you touched on the community aspect. It is very important. I don't really know how they did it. I mean, they've just hired some excellent people from what I can tell. I'm tuning my own horn here just a little bit, but no, they really hired from like within the community. I think like a lot of us are like just straight up degens, right? Like straight Solana degens and traders, and we were like really into the space. And so when you hire like from within the space, I think like you have that community feel a little bit more. You're a little bit more connected to the community just because the people who work for you are from there. Whereas like I think like other marketplaces, like they're definitely a little bit more big tech, right? They're Silicon Valley, like, and I think that's where some of the issues of them not being so connected come from. And it's nobody in particular, actually. In fact, I think ME does it a little bit better than most other marketplaces. I can't pinpoint one or the other. But yeah, no, it's a very interesting thing. I hear it often, right? Like we are just a little bit more connected to our community. And to be fair, the Solana community is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit more tight knit. I think it's
like
fun.
early vibes.
Yeah, early. I hear that often. Yeah. Abe Father was saying like, yeah, he sees like early bassy vibes. Do you call it bassy or bake?
I just say bake because it rhymes with wake.
Wake and bake. That's good. For a long time, to myself and to like my friends, we'd call it, Macy or Basie. And then I like went to an IRL event and somebody was calling it bake and make. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? But I think I'm the minority. I think most people do call it bake. But anyway, that's what I meant. Yeah, Ape Father was saying it's got early bake vibes. No, it is true because I mean it's very easy to get in touch with like the who's right of Solana. And I think even like very novice traders can reach out to some of these bigger folks, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And like it's less people that you have to know, right? So like it's just cool to be connected with kind of everybody. I know, like, I don't know. I community manage a few different projects, so I feel like I know a good chunk of like the traders in the space, and it's great. I love it. Whereas on Ethereum, I think that'd be kind of harder to accomplish just because it's much broader. More liquidity, though. Something to be fair when I make the comparison, right? There's obviously the higher price point needs more institutional liquidity and liquidity in general. So, I guess cross-chain is great because cross-chain is both. But the comparison does come up. And do you have any thoughts on ETH versus Sol, not in a collaborative manner, but one or the other kind of deal?
Well, that's hard for me to say because like I've been really like obviously I've been in the ETH community for a long time. A lot of the times like ETH has gotten, like there's so many ETH maxis, like they hate Solana for some reason.
Yeah. Solana's for the poor.
I mean, I honestly like I've enjoyed the shit posters on Solana a lot. Like obviously Shilling Villain and Frank.
Oh, Alex is dope. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like huge fans of those accounts, and I connected with Volley, and she's really cool too. Like
she's cool.
dropping.
No, I work with her. She's fucking dope. She's on the marketing team. She's really fun to work with.
I mean, it's a whole vibe, and I love it, and I can't choose right now because like I just love both communities. I think Solana is easier for people to get into now versus ETH because ETH is just so like there's projects that some people will never be able to get into because the price point is just so out of control. Like it's literally way too high versus some of the projects like some the D Gods and Catalina Whales and all kinds of different other NFTs, even OK Bears now, like they're all much more affordable. And one day some of those NFTs will be like the ETH NFTs. So that's my hope, and I think that's really realistic in the next year or two.
No, agreed. So it's a funny thing because yes, there is a lower barrier of entry to get into like some of these smaller projects. People like I'm sure like you or folks when you got started, they were trying to flip up, right? They were trying to flip up into blue chips. So not only is it easier to flip up into blue chips on Solana, it's easier just to straight up buy the blue chips. Whereas on Ethereum, even me now, I'd have to try to flip into a blue chip. I used to have a make, by the way. I papered it for like 4 ETH.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, no, it hurts. It hurts a lot, but it's fine. I've brought that up so many times. I'm beating a dead horse. Anyway, on Solana, I feel like not everybody, but a lot of people can just jump straight into a blue chip and hold a blue chip. On Ethereum, like you said, that's not very possible. So I think Sol is fun too because you can like kind of mess around and get your feet wet. If you're new to the NFT space, you can start trading like super low value NFTs. Play the market and go up and down, whatever. Or if you're like me and you don't really like to read or pay attention, like just buy a blue chip and hang on to it. It makes it a little bit easier. Did you ever do one of those wallet analyzers? Do you remember those? They came out October. You know what I'm talking about?
I remember that, but I didn't because I don't know. Like I'm like probably the least innovative technology wise.
Fair,
I feel so bad for saying that.
No, me too. I don't care. I got into the space because I like art really more than anything. So like if it looks good, I'll buy it, and I don't really try to look into utility or whatever the fuck. So I'm with you. Okay. I'm only curious because I did one, and like I think at the time I forget how much ETH was. ETH was in the 30,000s, and like the analyzer had said I'd spent like 12 grand in gas, and I'm like, bro, I could use 12 grand now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
seriously.
Yeah. It's a fuck ton. So not only is like the market a little bit cheaper, right? There's a lower barriers of entry. I think gas is the big thing, and it gets brought up often. But I'm curious if like your experience was get with gas is as negative as mine. I was like really bad about like not really giving a fuck though. Like I just if I wanted to buy it, I wouldn't wait for gas to go up or down. Um, so yeah, you too. Okay.
Yeah, I don't even want to say how much money I've lost to gas. Like I
Yeah.
just was buying NFTs, like money was flowing back then, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Back then.
buy it right now. I'm so impatient.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I was so close to not doing it. I was like, I don't want to know. I know it's gonna be bad. I don't want to know. But I never could have fathomed. I think it was like 4-ish ETH worth of gas. Like, what the fuck? Brutal. And I think we're getting close to the end of time here. So we can begin wrapping up. I like how you mentioned like when you're comparing communities or comparing chains, I should say, you're focused on the community. I'm a bit of the same way, right? Again, we're talking, I'm not a fan of much of the tech or utility, but art and community are kind of my main things. And so for anybody, your friends, yourself, anybody from ETH looking to join a really fun community, I think I got to plug Solana here. Solana ecosystem is really fun, as you've mentioned. Magic Eden. By the way, the guy who does a lot of like the memes and the shit posting and stuff, his name's Warbucks. You can follow him on Twitter as well.
I follow him. I love him.
Dude, yeah, he's good. He's so good. It's funny. He's made such a tangible dent in the sentiment around Magic Eden. Like, and don't get me wrong, all of us are like just genuinely decent people, or at least I am. Right? No, I'm just kidding. But Warbucks has a good way of like conveying that. Like he like really helps people understand. Like, hey, like we're not this like big corporate overlord that sometimes is the narrative. Like we're generally just chill fucking people, like, and chill people make mistakes sometimes. It's okay. We pivot, we learn. And Warbucks has a lot to do with that as well, as far as communicating that. So shout outs to him. I know a lot of the ETH folks are fans of him, so I gotta plug him as well. He's the Magic Eden intern, or the guy who runs the ME Twitter account. Shout out to Warbucks. But yeah, I think that's all I had for you. It was a pleasure being able to connect with you. I'm connecting with quite a few Ethereum folks. I kind of am like hoping we can do like a big like roundtable at some point, like you, Abe Father. There's a few other folks that I'm going to be connecting with. Mostly apes, which is cool. I mean, it really speaks to the force that apes are in the ETH ecosystem. And going back to being a dead horse, I regret papering mine.
I bought my make at 17 ETH, and I am going to be holding that. I mean, I was really fortunate with the ape drop, the ape coin drop. It basically paid for my ape. And still, I'm feeling the hurt right now. So
my heart. When I I was doing the calculations for like how much make holders were getting of ApeCoin or whatever. I was like, dude, why? Like, yeah. I didn't mention this to you, but I took the 4 ETH from the make, and I bought Shiba Inu at the top. So yeah. I'm not much of a trader. It's brutal. It's so bad. Yeah. It's so bad. But on that note, no. It was a pleasure connecting with you. I appreciate you coming up. I will drop the She Survives. Do you have a Mint link or Twitter? Should I drop the Twitter link in the
The Mint link is on the Twitter link. It's just basically the website. It's super easy. Cool. We're not doing any heavy, crazy marketing, but I still have the community wallet open, and we've got a bunch saved up for, hopefully events that we're working out, more donations and things like that. So yeah, we're just kind of chilling with the market. Yeah.
No, I love it. Yeah. For, folks who are looking for a cool way to donate to a great cause, get a cool PFP, join a cool community, which there's some stuff that's going to be coming up as well. Check out the link. I'll drop it in the description for She Survives. And again, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it.
Thank you.